from Dancesportlife. Next to me I have Natascha Karabey and Domen Krapez. How are you guys?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Natascha and Domen, they are Showdance winners. They are Blackpool finalists and in all the major competitions in the WDC World and also German champions. How are you guys? Are you excited?
Yes, we're excited.
Very excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Cannot wait to see you dance on Friday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We saw you in the team match, so elegant and so fun at the same time.
We already did one show here, we did a team match here, we did a lecture here, so it's actually quite a long week also for us.
How was the lecture? Because I didn't have the chance to come this year to the Congress, but usually I do come to the Congress, and this year I missed it and I'm so sad. How was it?
Actually, yeah, very good, because the title, I thought the general title of this year was Concept of Art.
Yeah.
So our lecture was, our concept of art. So it was actually very inspiring to go into this subject and to kind of ask yourself a few questions. Why really you dance? What do you give with your dancing? And yeah, mainly it was on Natascha, because we have kind of an agreement that one year it's more on me next year. So it was a bit more on Natascha this year, but I thought she did a wonderful job, really. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Actually, yeah, we had a lot of fun. We thought the audience went with us in this subject, and they enjoyed what we actually said and also what we performed then. Exactly. So it was a very nice feeling for us.
It is a special subject and quite difficult to define.
Yeah, quite deep subject. Yes.
Exactly, because there are different dancers, different personalities, and different art to each couple.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody feels something different, and here's everybody has a different motivation why they started. Everybody has a different relationship with the partner, with the music, with the audience. So it's very interesting also to hear stories of other great dancers that even some people that I admired, they used to be my idols.
Yeah.
To hear when they speak about this subject and maybe sometimes even share a same emotion and same feeling. So it's inspiring, very inspiring actually.
And talking about great dancers and walking through history, could you please tell me a bit of your dancing history? How did you start dancing? How did you end up dancing together?
I started to dance actually because my parents are dance teachers, so it was kind of a little bit obvious for me. So I listened to the ballroom music already when I was very small, and I always wanted to dance. I thought it's fascinating me, and yeah, I have to say that was kind of my love to dance, because I could do that for many hours. It was still fascinating and no problem to concentrate on it. Getting better was also a fun part, so that's why I actually was a dancer at the end.
And what about you, John?
For me, actually, in Slovenia at that time, we have on the national television, they were showing movies of Fred Astaire, black and white, whole thing. Once per week, I remember. So at that time, I would go in front of TV and watch these movies. Plus, we would have there was one Slovenian movie made in a dance studio.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, it was extremely famous, because after that movie, actually, they then made also first was part 1, part 2. I think they even made part 3. So a lot of kids at that time start dancing, because the movie was a huge success.
What movie is that? Sorry.
It was Slovenian. Poletje v školki, like dancing in a shell.
Okay, maybe some of our
it's a little bit like a love story, that starts kind of in a dancing studio. Kids, young adults, and then with struggles with family, with parents, but always connected to dancing. So yeah, this guy was so cool, the girl was great, the story. Okay, let's go to dance studio. Yeah, and then I started dancing slowly. I liked it. I was doing a lot of different activities. I did a bit of kayaking, tennis, music school. So my parents wanted me to be kind of
educated
in many different areas. They didn't really want to put me in one. And then I started to do slowly competitions. It was going quite well. And then I remember a friend of mine gave me this video cassette of Blackpool. I was just watching this like crazy. I loved it. I loved the place, I loved this that generation dancing. So basically these people became my heroes, and I just wanted to be like them. I wanted to come here, perform in this beautiful place. I wanted to be in their position to dance the finals of the biggest competitions. So this is how then I started to get more, this was my introduction actually to the beauty of dance world.
Yeah. Could you name some of the idols that you
At
mentioned?
that time,
Yeah.
at that time, on that video, there was Marcus Hilton and Karen, Luca and Lorraine. There was Andrew Sinkinson and Charlotte at the time, Augusto, Schiavo and Caterina, and I think in that final was also Massimo Giorgiani and Christopher Hawkins.
Amazing names.
Yeah. And I think it was also Hide Tanaka also, I think.
Yeah. And I know you had amazing careers before
Yes.
dancing together.
Yes.
Very successful. You started dancing together about 5 years.
Natasha's good with
2015.
numbers.
Yeah.
Natasha would tell you the
So
year, the date, everything. She's very good with numbers.
Usually women are. I'm sorry.
Natasha is really special with numbers.
Okay. So we started 2015 to dance. Our first competition was in January 2015.
And how was your first tryout? How you decided to dance together?
Actually,
Do
it
you
was
want to share?
funny because we were dating before that.
Yeah.
We were together, but we said that we put dancing completely on the side.
Yeah.
So we, this time, because of course we didn't have a lot of time to spend together, but we decided the time that we spend together, we will not go into dancing topics. So we try to stay out of dancing topics, out of this. So it was actually
that's a
really,
challenge.
it's a challenge, but actually it was really nice because it was for the first time like real holidays. I understand it was you try to
Time out,
distance yourself from the dance world. You spoke about different subjects. You did kind of a bit hobbies and stuff like this. So it was funny actually. Then when we had the first tryout, actually it was kind of a bit oops. Was the first tryout actually was not so good actually. Yeah, feeling maybe. Was okay.
I think we
but
were a little bit under stress,
under
to put it
stress,
this
yes,
way,
yeah.
because we actually did not plan to dance together. So circumstances around us kind of changed.
Okay.
So then we knew there's not a lot of time to get ready and everything.
Yeah.
So we had like 3 weeks for
To get
our
ready for the
first competition.
3 weeks.
So I think the first tryout you can't really take as some
Yes,
reference.
pressure.
So I still remember that actually tango was the best dance. This I remember. It worked easy, no problem.
Is it still the best dance or it changed?
I actually
Depends on it goes up
they
and down.
leveled.
We are like
They
a bit-
leveled.
like a stock market. But yeah, we had like this because the plan was 27th was a tryout,
Of December was the tryout.
28th waltz choreography, 29th by ourselves, 29th tango,
I can't even
30th.
imagine.
So basically 5 days to put the choreographies in, start to practice, try to get the dresses, new sponsorships.
Exactly.
Because the comp was around the corner, try to get ready, ice baths, ball terrain, everything, go to competition and perform. Actually, it was a great competition for us. We really stressed away and we really enjoyed one of the most beautiful memories, if I think, from all of my dance career.
Really?
It was really, when you are fully there, when you're not pressurized by anything, when you really step on the floor and really enjoy the performance, you get the reaction, and you're really, really in the moment. It was really beautiful memory.
Yeah, the support we had from, from the audience in that special moment was incredible for us. Kind of, it supported us. It carried us through the rounds.
Exactly.
And also for us, what we prepared and what we basically practiced for worked on that day. Kind of, that was one of these moments. So it was a nice, for us, a very nice memory. But that's how we ended up basically together, as you asked. It wasn't really planned, and then suddenly everything's changed.
So basically, that was your first tryout, the competition.
And that worked well.
Yes, exactly. And what about expressing emotions on a dance floor? Because, for example, I never was a ballroom dancer. I was only Latin dancer, and I'm always curious to see how ballroom dancers can express emotions. Because for me, being a Latin dancer, it's easier to. It feels like there are a lot more emotions, but I bet they are in ballroom as well. Could you please explain?
Actually, Natasha can give you a comparison.
Yeah.
Competition and show.
Because a little bit
Here you have a bit.
We spoke a little bit in our lecture about this because that was our concept of art. So we said we face actually two situations. So we have a show or we have a competition.
Yes.
Now in a show we are a little bit more free because we have a lot of open parts and we can choose the music to set up an emotion.
Lights,
everything. And in a competition, of course, we know the structure of the music, but we might not know what kind of music is coming. So, but I think after so many years, we study so much of music, so we know kind of the structure, and we use that to create basically the emotions. And yeah, we have the choreography, we have emotions we can create together. But I have to say, you're absolutely right. Latin has a little bit of an advantage to set up more mood before they actually dancing, basically. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, maybe it's more subtle in our world.
Exactly. And how can you make it obvious? Because maybe let's say I'm a ballroom dancer and I do have some feelings. What can I do to make them obvious? Study more music or connect more with the partner?
Actually, when people believe in themselves, they don't have problems to express themselves. Sometimes technique can be a huge limitation. So actually you have to, I think in my case, you have to go on the competition, if we speak about the competition, and not do your practice. Because a lot of people are stuck in their heads. You practice, you have a certain mental focus or concentration, and you go through certain things, you go into your body, maybe you go a bit into the listen, so basically you're closed. Now when you do the competition or when you're performing, you have to open yourself and eliminate this. So this is also something you would need to practice. To open your senses, feel music, touch, aware of the floor, aware of the audience and everything. So you need to go out of your head and you need to go completely into your senses, and this actually opens you and projects you. This is what I believe. You have to, it's difficult, you need to look at yourself, how you are as a person, what problems do you face in the competition. If this helps, sometimes for certain couples, I always advise and mention that people who are watching around are your friends, not your enemies, not there to criticize you. Judges are ex-dancers who understand, at least in our world, they're ex-dancers who understand music, good performance, the orchestra is playing behind them. I always say, they are in Blackpool, for example, if you look, orchestra is behind, they are in front of the orchestra, and then they look at you. So they have a music coming from here and the vision comes into you.
Ah, wow.
So he is basically between the music and between you. So he,
translate,
it's not that he just looks, sometimes people I think, are afraid to be judged, or this you have to eliminate when you're performing. You have to eliminate, there is no practice, it's just a performance, go out, enjoy it, and work was done. If you do mistake, who cares, but you put yourself on the floor. So I think this can help to couples to express themselves better and not to have limitation, because I think everybody has something to give. They need to just allow themselves to put it out.
I would say it's not that difficult, because you actually connect and you get a lot of emotions from the audience, I would say. So for example, if you take the team match on Saturday, it's a very, very special moment and how this competition basically takes place, and you actually feel the emotion from the audience. You feel what they kind of feel, and if they look at you, so you connect from yourself to them, you connect with each other, and then at the end to the music. And if you have a very good night, basically, the emotions, they feel your emotions basically. If you want to hold the line longer, if you want to do this, if you want to stay, if you want to have a very subtle, if you want to be very strong, I can actually feel, or we can feel, that they go with us, or that we can draw them into our performance on a very good night. And I think especially like in the team match now, you are very aware of who is sitting where does this, how positive. Sometimes you also see if they're like, maybe not. Of course, not everybody likes everybody, but it's kind of it's a different emotion, I would say, as a Latin, maybe.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, amazing. I mean, I've never thought that I mean, especially in Blackpool, because all the big names are there in the front row, and you perform in front of them. It's amazing.
But all of these big names who are performing there, they are all ex-dancers who went through exactly the same thing. They know. It's not that they don't know how it is to step on the Blackpool floor then, or to team match, and the generation before was seated there. They know exactly how it is. So that's why you see, for example, in Blackpool, usually in jive or quick step, you know, in the final, they stand up.
Yeah.
It's not, they want to support because they know how it was to be there. They want to give us their energy. So we actually share with the audience and with these ex-dancers. This is actually the beauty, and then the friendship of these worlds puts everybody together, and actually they help you. So they're not, you know, couples always take sometimes too much criticism towards them. No, they're actually friends because they feel with you.
Yeah. I mean, in another interview today, we actually said that, it's like a big family, and everyone understands each other because we share the same love and passion.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking a bit, because you mentioned a bit personality and expressing yourself. It's one of my favorite questions. I ask everyone this question. Do you think the personality you have in real life influences the way you perform, influences the way you shape your style of dancing, or is it the other way around?
I did a bit of work on this.
Yeah.
And personally, I know a lot of very, very good dancers. And I believe that in the end, they become themselves on the dance floor. So I can see how they are off the floor. They actually reflect how they are on the floor. On and off the floor, it's actually, because I know them also in a private, like as friends.
Yes.
And in the end, you see actually that it's not a different personality on the floor. You see how their style developed, how things went. It's actually very similar to how they are also. Now, I don't know if dances influence the life or the life influence dances, but definitely
at one point becomes
yes, hand in hand.
I think it's a little bit of a journey probably, because all the top dancers they train for many years, and I would say if I go through my career, it changes over the time probably. I think like the last years, I would say that's what you are. So that's your character, your way to do it, and it's very real. But probably in the beginning, you're kind of still searching for what you want to point out, what you bring out. So I think the more experience you have, the more you are basically yourself.
Yeah, and also we have certain habits. You know, as people, we have habits now. When, for example, you get a new information, you don't accept it straight away. But once you practice it maybe for 2-3 weeks, it becomes yours, so it becomes you.
Exactly.
So you are kind of constantly changing if you're willing to. So
you translate the movement that
yes.
it's given to you. Yeah, I agree. So going a bit further, my curiosity would be, what do you think there are the 3 main characteristics of a great dance couple?
Of a dance couple?
Yes.
Point number 1, it's actually a relationship. They need to work as a team. I think without that, there is no pleasure, no enjoyment, things are going down the hill. So first thing would say team, you know, believing into each other, giving support, because in the end we work together. So that would be one very important thing. Secondly, I think not being afraid to lose. For me personally, so you need to accept that this is a journey, because whenever you listen to whoever had a lot of success, had more failures actually than successes. So not being so afraid, because then this can block you. And I see a lot of people that because of maybe bad result they stopped, or because of bad result a lot of tensions came into the couple. So that actually prevented them to become somebody who maybe they could become. Then I think another important thing is, of course, to be a hard-working person, and if, of course, if dancing is your passion, you don't mind to sacrifice. If you decide, okay, this is my life, I want to be the greatest dancer possible.
Yeah.
You know, you set yourself this, I want to be the best possible for myself, not just good, not just decent, but I want to be the best version of myself. So you're willing then to sacrifice, and I think you keep these things then always, and you remind yourself
Being a professional.
about this. Yes. Yeah, this is kind of like, I think personally, and then a little bit regarding maybe just a skill. I think somebody needs to focus maybe first on the silhouette posture, secondly on the movement, not just in the distance, but from one step to another step, how many movements can somebody put into, you know, into the body. Next thing would be balance, personal balance, balance in the couple, not kind of, you know, dancing. That's kind of for us, that I say for me. Then would be maybe structure. How do you structure your choreography, and that will actually also help you with musicality and things like this. And then also what is actually very, very important, that's the fifth one.
It's good.
That's the fifth one. That's the fifth one. What is very important for me, are you in characteristic of this particular dance? Because what I see important. Today very often, I say, yeah, maybe everything becomes just, you know, quick step becomes tango, tango becomes quick step, figure goes from this step to that step. So it's not, we're losing actually what is the real art of this dance.
Yeah.
So you don't keep it. It's not that it cannot develop. Of course, it has developed, but because music is doing, you know, playing. That's why characteristic of this dance is something. So this needs to be, especially sometimes teachers and choreographers need to be a little bit careful to explain this, of course, to the students, so they understand what is the whole point of waltz, what is the music saying to us, and things like this.
Very beautiful, very beautiful, no. And I completely agree, especially with the characteristics of
Natascha
the
needs to go.
I need to do 3.
I
would to attack this question a little bit different.
So you can have 10 together.
But it's no. Okay, so it would be, it's a bit also the same kind of, but I think the most important thing is that you are persistent, basically. Also, hardworking, persistent. I think otherwise it's difficult. I think I spoke with so many dancers which reached the top, and they all had ups and downs, and they went through really hard downs also. So you have to have a persistence. Otherwise, it's a bit too difficult, I think, to survive that.
Yeah,
basically.
We all had hungry years and injuries.
Yeah, there was nobody, I think, I didn't hear nobody who said, oh, it was just an easy path. So I think that's number one. Then understanding of principles in the technique. I think that's a very important thing, so that you not try to do any shortcuts. So that's the next. Yeah, and I think the third is really, you have to function as a team, because I think through all the years I saw dancing, and which couple was fascinating me, I would say these are the ones which really made their partnership special.
Yes.
And if I would now refer a little bit to Latin, I could see that very much, if the partnership was kind of having something special, and it fascinated me. So that's the thing.
Yeah, because
so
again,
that's the 3
we
things.
know them also off the floor.
Exactly.
Because we travel together, we do shows together, you know, we teach together, so you know these people also off the floor. So
that's the 3 for, I would say, for me.
And when you're gonna end your career, what do you want people to remember you for?
That's a good one.
I never actually thought what I want people to remember of me. I know what I want to have for myself of my career. That is, first of all, I don't want to regret.
Yeah.
I don't want to have regret that I didn't do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I believe, especially in this stage of my career, I'm doing what I want to do.
Exactly.
I don't want to like go on the dance floor and be afraid of something. That's why I said before when we were speaking about expression. Yeah, it's not being afraid. And
would be nice if so you can have time a little bit to think. I would say for me it would be nice if they remember maybe a special performance or a special moment out of my career, basically. So if for them was a very important memory, basically to see one of that performance, that would be great. So if they
that you leave some kind of emotion,
yeah,
not just a YouTube clip.
Yeah.
I don't not so much about this. I want to leave to people who maybe watch the competition or watch the show, you know, more than visually, they emotionally connected
Felt
to you.
it, yeah.
Yes, so that's kind of more. That's the nicest thing actually, for me at least, when you kind of connect with the audience. Like you asked before a question about letting them go. Yeah, when you gave to somebody an emotion and it stayed for them for a long time because it made their life more beautiful at that moment. So when maybe they go back to that memory, it brings them happiness back.
Exactly.
Sharing love.
I love that. And one last question. I have actually two more questions. What do you love the most about your dance partner?
Wow. Who's that? Me or you?
At the moment, you always answer first. You can.
I love about just like dancing or personality. Or
Either way.
Well, Natascha, first of all, she's really special. You know, she's a really special person, and she's a very special dancer. I think everybody who had ever chance to dance with her or to teach agrees that she is a dancer that is actually out of this world. She is
So
well,
beautiful.
that's true. She actually, you know, a lot of top dancers like Augusto Schiavo, Anthony Hurley, Michael Barr, Oliver Wessel-Theron, all these people lectured with her. So they had a reason to choose Natascha to lecture because, yeah, she's really a great dancing partner, and for me the best girl that is on the dance floor, who I would wish to dance. So that's completely. As a person, she's very hardworking, very determined, but on the other side, also very emotional and very soft. So she has this nice balance of both things that, yeah, that's why I love her so much.
That was very beautiful.
I know each time this question makes me emotional,
No,
let
but it's
alone
nice, because
yourself.
then,
It's
true,
very
I'm not just
beautiful.
saying it because we are on camera, but really I feel this, and I'm actually happy that in the last stage of our career, we are able to dance together, and yeah, because it makes you happy on daily basis.
Exactly.
For me, yeah, I think what I love the most is that he supports me in everything I do as a person, and I'm able, when I dance with him, to dance 100% of what I would like to dance, and that's very special, I would say. Already when we, not the first tryout, but already when we practice a little bit more, I could feel that he gives me as a lady dancer a lot of possibilities and makes me actually look very good, basically. Yeah, that's one thing. As a person, that I have the full support. As a dancer, for me, that I can be the lady dancer I want to be, and that's very special.
Good. I'm happy. And my last question would be, if you would go back to your 12-year-old self, what piece of advice would you give to yourself, knowing what you know today?
If I would go back 12 years, get a good team. Let somebody teach you how to communicate better with your partner. Important people that are around you, they are supportive, first of all. Secondly, that there are really an experts. They're really, because you don't want to go in that early age through. You need to go through a good education, basically. You know, like schooling. You want to send your kid to the best school possible to prepare him for life. Yes, definitely somebody to teach you how to communicate better with each other. Because, like I said, this brings too much tension. We all had, more than one partner in our dancing career, and often that wrong communication or not setting correct goals or no support created this. Yeah, but I think most important is team. because they actually, you know, at 12 years somebody will need to teach you what to do. You don't know this world.
Exactly.
I would say kind of, yeah, definitely the team is very, very important. And also if you know what you want basically out of the dancing, if you want to be a champion or if you want to be a show dance, it depends what you want to have out, that you have to make yourself a plan, and there's a chance to make it, but you have to know that basically it's a plan. You have only a certain amount of time, and that's what you have to be aware of. And I think that you are at certain phases of your career maybe not always aware enough of that, and then it's a shame because you're losing basically time.
Yeah.
So I think a team, and be careful how you plan.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Cannot wait to see you on Friday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Already the team match was amazing, and I bet the final will be amazing as well. Thank you so much.
Fingers crossed.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.